This will be a simple review of the DLI, that's Defense Language Institute, Flamric course from 1980s, and an assessment of its usefulness in regards to learning foreign language. Now, when you download the documents, you'll be given a full set of PDFs, and you may be wondering where you should start with the information provided, and the best way to start is through the Manual of Administration. Now, the Manual of Administration is very useful in giving a course outline as per what they'd expect, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, which is quite excessive for most people. So the best way to look into it is to pick the most important aspects of it. So if we scroll down here, you're given PDFs, you're given a Volume 1, Elementary Chinese Reader, Lessons 1 to 42. That's here. 2, unfortunately, there are exercise books and some of the readers are missing from the collection, so that can be a hindrance or it could be an advantage, depending on your situation, or it could mean nothing at all, really. So then you're given 2 phases. Phase 1 is for complete beginners and does not have much reference to the military readings that are provided later. And by following this guide, you can sort of get a basic understanding of how the course is structured. Now, there's also tapes. The tapes, unfortunately, are quite poorly recorded, re-recorded from cassette tapes or vinyl to electronic formats, so they can be very hard to hear at times, but we'll have a look at the PDFs. Unfortunately, I can't play the tapes back to you, but this is a sample lesson. This is lesson 13 from one of the PDFs. This is Chinese Reader number 1. And lesson 13, basically, it's always the same, or a similar style. You're given a substitution deal. So, 你有中文说吗? 你有中文报吗? Etc. And it's read through with the tape with each substitution, and it's useful to listen to the tape and repeat what you hear all the time and get an understanding of how the language flows. If you're not sure, there's a section here with new words which you can have a look over before you begin the lesson. But essentially, you're given the first substitution, then you're given a text which contains all the new words, all the new grammar, and a paragraph. So, 丁理是中国学生，他有一个外国朋友，他的朋友叫阿里，阿里是留学生，阿里学习韩语，他有2本英文书 etc. And through this, you can sort of get an understanding of what the text is all about, and you listen to the speaker, and it's probably best to not look at the text when you repeat back, and then write down the text and listen to it again to get a practice of handwriting, comprehension, and then speaking afterwards. So after that, the tapes stop here, and you're given a overview of the grammar. The main issue, because it's electronic format, is scrolling back and forth, but that can be fixed if you print this out, if you want to print it out. But a very useful explanation of what the grammar is, for example, the interrogative pronoun, ji, and in Chinese and English. So once you start getting more proficient, you can actually revisit the lessons and read the Chinese explanations of the grammar. In that regard, then you can expand on your own knowledge. You're given exercises which are not too well contributive to your learning process, but they are useful in repeating to yourself the words and pronouncing them aloud. The best ones are the passage telling, retell the following passage, where you have to read it aloud and say it back again, and it's best to memorize this at the time that you do it and then revisit it again. So the best way I found is to study for, say, 1 lesson a night and always revisit what I've learned the day before. So I've done lesson 13 yesterday, and it takes about 10 minutes on the tape to listen to the substitution of the text, and then probably another 15 minutes or so for the exercises. And the writing is also very important. The system of writing is probably one of the most important things you could do here. But as I said, this does get very comprehensive, and eventually you'll be having Chinese supplementary readings, which downloading for me. So you get readings, and eventually the text becomes all in Chinese, or it should really. So yeah, all in Chinese. Now the characters may be a little bit hard to make out, but they are in simplified, so that is a bonus considering the age of this document. And they provide a wealth of information. They give you a glossary and dialogues and etc. So overall it's a very well planned out, well thought out course. The only problem is that people may have trouble sticking to it, and that can be easily overcome if you really have an enthusiasm to learn the Chinese language. This course is highly recommended. Thank you.